Now today we will not have any havan, that we have decided, because in the Diwali there is no need to have any havan. But we'll have just the puja. Now today is the puja. As you know, there are 5 days they celebrate it. The first day is the 13th day, where it is the Gruha Lakshmi's day. Is the Gruha Lakshmi's day. That is the day when the Gruha Lakshmi is worshipped. But the Gruha Lakshmi has to be worthy of the worship. And then some utensil is given to the Gruha Lakshmi. Some sort of an utensil is to be given to the Gruha Lakshmi as a present. That is the day Lakshmi was born. Lakshmi was born out of the Mother Earth. Out of the, we should say, Mother Earth, but she came out of the sea after the journey. So that is the birth of the Lakshmi. She is the giver of wealth. Wealth which is material as well as spiritual. A wife who says that all right, you save all the money, teaches the children to be selfish and teaches the husband to be selfish, to save all the money in the bank and not to be charitable, is not a Lakshmi. She is the one who teaches you how to be charitable, how to give to others. A woman who is very particular about her money and bank balances is not a Lakshmi at all. She has to spend. She is there to spend. Man has to preserve his money, but the woman has to spend. He has to earn, or she has to spend. But rightly, spend it rightly. Not only for herself, but for the family, but for the husband. She thinks, what should I buy? For my husband, for my children, for other Sahajogis, for other people, all her job. The husband earns and gives it to her, and she does that. It's a very sweet distribution of food. So that's the day of the Gruha Lakshmi when she's born. She must have these qualities. If she's a miserly, calculating type of woman, she is not a woman at all to begin with. If she's worried about her own clothes and her own comforts and her own things, then she's not a Gruha Lakshmi. She makes others work and sit down herself and orders about, she's not a Gruha Lakshmi. She has to work for others. She has to do for others. She has to look after. That's the 13th day. Then the 14th day is the day when Narakasura was killed. You know, Narakasura has taken his birth. And he is to be killed. His Sahajogis are going to kill him. You have to come up to a point and definitely he can be killed. When Kartikeya is awakened within you, he can be killed. But for that, you have to be just like gold, untarnishable. You need strong people to do that. A sword that can kill him has to come out of your metals. Then Narakasura can be killed. He is one of the worst possible asura. That is the 14th day. When he was killed, the gate of hell was opened and all those were his disciples or his followers or satanic people were put. That's the only day you can sleep late. And it is good news for you. Then the 15th day is the darkest night which we had. Darkest night. That is the night when you put the lights on. Because it is the darkest night, the negative forces can walk in. So the lights are put because Lakshmi can come in. You'll be surprised how Lakshmi ji is, that if a bottle of wine enters from one end, she disappears from another. If there is a lady, she is bhutish, in the family they can never have the enjoyment of Lakshmi. The Lakshmi ji runs away from them. They may have money, but they cannot enjoy. The Lakshmi ji will run away. Such a person will be so inauspicious, I tell you. Supposing you want to, say, buy something, and such a bhutish person telephones to you, cannot get it. Finished. First of all, your ears will be finished with the poison. And then whatever work you are doing, you will never be successful. Now this country is so full of such bhutish women, Lakshmis. I don't know how will they become all right. The women have to decide to get rid of their boots and not to carry on with them. They must meditate, they must try. If they feel sleepy, they must go and have a bath. Or twice, thrice. Sometimes burn yourself a little bit, doesn't matter. See to it that you don't feel sleepy and dreamy. If you are dreamy by nature, then you are bhutish. That's the responsibility of women, to keep the Lakshmi intact. So that's the Lakshmi day when we say that Lakshmi Pujan takes place, because that is the day you invite the Lakshmi to come. The Raja Lakshmi. The Lakshmi by which you become the king of the family, or the royal benevolence, you can call it, the regal feeling in the family. That is the day. Then comes the day, next to that is the first of the month, that is the calendar. My forefathers, because you are all my children, you have to use the same calendar, Shalivana's calendar. And that is the first day of the Shalivana's calendar. And what do they do in the morning time to celebrate it? They take one of these jars, Aquarius, and put a shawl with it. And that is put as a flag, representing the Aquarius and the shawl of the mother. That's why they are called as Shalivahan, the ones who carry the shawls of the mother, carriers of the shawls of the mother. That's how they put it up. The shawl, on top of is the Aquarius. This should be actually the flag of the Sahajogis. That you make it the Aquarius, or we can say the jar. What do you call that? Pitcher. Pitcher. Or not pitcher, but this lota business. What do you call that? There's nothing used like this here. That one is to kumbha. We can call it kumbha. And the shawl there. So they put it up. That's why it's called as Gudi Padwa. Padwa means the first day of the moon is Padwa. Gudi means this. So they put it up, and that is how they say that today is the New Year day for the Shalivahanas. Shawl is the covering of your mother, which gives it warmth, and also covers her modesty. Shawl is a sign of regality and modesty and chastity. So you stand for that of your mother. You protect it like Ganesha does. Only on one point he gets angry. If anybody says or does anything against the mother, then he comes down. That's why Christ has said, anything against me I'll tolerate, but anything against the Holy Ghost will not be forgiven. That's a son talking about the mother. That's what happens. So today is the second day Second day is the Bija. We call it the Bhaiya Dvija or Bhav Bees. Is the day when the brother and the sister, who are the seeds of one tree, have that pure exchange of affection. The sister does the arti of the brother, gives him a tika, and then brother gives her something as a token of his love, as a present. In Bombay, we started that, and they have made sisters and brothers. I wish you also could find out somebody as a nice brother. But I found that these relationships have been so beautifully managed in India that if they could be managed here, it will be a great day of really ecstasy for me. Because that means you have overcome this devil of immorality, the purity, removing the lust and greed from your mind completely, and bestowing that affection for someone who is your sister. Very common in India, everybody has a sister there. All the Sahajogis have a sister and they look after the sister there. It's a very sweet feeling. And a sister is treated like Raulbai is a sister of Dumal. You can imagine. And the sister is treated with the same grace as the own sister is to be treated, with all the relationships and everything. So this is the 5th day, is Dvija. So from 13th to the 5th day, they celebrate Diwali. For us, Diwali has a very great significance. That is, from one light, many lights are awakened and they are put in a line. So they are called as Diwali, means the lights put in a line. So when you hold my hands together, all of us, through that, the energy passes. And an enlightened rasa is established. And the whole world has to become that beautiful dream of your mother, where nothing but the bliss of your father and his enjoyment. When he sees his own creation dancing in that ocean of bliss. May God bless you.